G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm working on this little generator. I just bought an auction, paid $10 for it, so hopefully I haven't blown my money, but if I have, it's not much to blow anyway. So, engine wise, it's got a 319cc, 8 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine, industrial commercial version with cast iron boil. Do you have to? Turns over, has compression. So it's a start. If nothing else, we've got an engine we can use. Coupled to a power light generator. So it's 3.75 kVA at 3000 RPM. It's very filthy at the moment. So I'm going to find a way. I'm just going to cover up the generator sides of things and we'll give it a quick clean and then get it down into the workshop. With one of my wife's garbage bags and 3 of her clothes pegs. So after I upload this video, when she watches it within a couple of days, my funeral will be about a week after that. Anyway, I'll just get some degreaser on here. Years and years worth of dust and stuff built up. I'm going to need to go and get another can of degreaser out. Very dusty. So this was originally used on a sheep farm in Matong, New South Wales, or just out of Matong, for various tasks around the farm. Look, there we've run out. It's alright, we might see where we get with this and some pressure washing and see how it looks. Now, hopefully, I'm just going to try and run this without cleaning the carburetor. And normally I wouldn't, but this tank is sparkling clean inside, so I think they've run it out of fuel and just packed it up. And it'll be a real bonus if they have, but I've got to paint this outer cover, paint the exhaust, make it look nice. But all in all, I don't think it's had a lot of use over the years. See the exhausts, the zinc coating's not entirely burnt off it. So I think we might have a good cant in it here. There we are, looking tons better. I'll give it a proper clean with a little wire brush and rags later on. I don't want to go overboard on something that does use electricity or creates electricity. But for the most part, most of the gunge is gone. I will redo the carburetor quickly before I take it down to the house. But other than that, no, I'm not going to get disgustingly filthy mucking around with this now. So I'll clean this carburetor out, for the outside of it a bit more, and then we'll get into it. Alright, so first things first, we'll check the oil. And it is somewhat low. Not drastically low. But I will top it off before we attempt to start it. We will change it before I sell it, but I want to give it a good run. And get it nice and hot and get all that old oil stirred up and circulated. How much more can I get in there? A little bit. As long as we got some in there, we already had some in it. That'll do for now. It's made it to the bottom of the tube. I'll take this air filter off. See what nasties are hiding in here. So we've got a stop run switch here, and this one's the one that's directly connected to the coil, so I'd say this original one's died at some point. Yeah, it's a bit nasty. It's had a bit of moisture get in the top of it too there. I'll just give it a quick spray. it still undoes, so that's the main thing. I'll have to buy an air filter before I sell it, but for now this is just the main part of getting it running to begin with, without spending a great deal. Because I don't want to spend a great deal and find out the generator's dead. So basically what I'll do in a moment is I'll give it a little snort of something and have a light bulb plugged into the generator output. And it's a bit loose too, so it would have been sucking in a little bit of dirt. Hopefully not too much. That's just nasty. But it was a very dusty place. Our area is very dusty. Oh, the area where I got this from was about an hour away, so alright, I'll go and get a little snort of something, plug a light in and get a better view, and we'll see what it does. Alright, just got a little, I don't know, I think it's a 60 watt light globe plugged in. There is a thing on the side saying don't run this generator with less than a third of its rated output load on it. I'm not sure what that's about. No doubt someone will tell me. But I won't run it, or we're only running it for a few seconds here. But it'd probably be to do with no load on the engine. The engine will be spinning a bit faster than would maybe. And cause the voltage to be a bit higher. So we've got a little bit of solvent-based degreaser there. Could have either gone ether as well, I suppose, but ether's not very good for the engine, but it's only for a couple of seconds. I've got a little bit of stuff in there. Leave the choke off for now. That's in the run position. That's in the run position. I'll work out if that's connected to anything later. If it doesn't go this time round, or second time round, I'll quickly check for spark. I might even have a recoil to put on this. That'd be better than this plastic ring. One more time and then we'll and we'll check for spark. So it's a 84 model, shouldn't have points. Time for a date with Bill Cosby. Alright, so there's no spark happening. Plenty of compression. No water in that plug lead. I'll just go and get a spark plug socket. Oh no, spark plug's already loose. Someone was having problems. No bueno. Alright, we'll strip this cover off and see what's underneath it. Oh wow. Oh dear. Well, there's our problem with the coil. Hang on. This thing has been wet a lot, and let's have a look at the nastiness. So I don't think this cowling's original to the engine, which states 1984. Only to the fact that, once again, as with that mass sport mower, this appears to have a lead going down to a points case under the flywheel. I don't trust that magneto as far as I can spit. I'm not sure that I've got an engine with one on it. There's in daylight here, but I've popped the points cover off and cleaned the points. They're actually quite clean. Underneath the flywheel's filthy, as you can see. I'll attend to that. I have not got a ignition coil anywhere, so I'm going to have to wait a week for a new one to turn up. But meanwhile, I just want to see if I can make what's there work. So I'll put this cover back on, slip the flywheel back on, and we'll come back. Some miracle. After putting it back together, I thought to try one more time. It's got a spark, so who knows? I've lost all our light here, so I'm about to just give it one more snort and pack it up for the night. Righto. Quick little snort, and hopefully we popped. This cowling needs a little bit of adjustment. That's better. Righto. Give it some more. If not, we'll pack it up and keep going in the morning when I can actually make some racket. Why are we not happy? Might have a stuck valve too, I suppose. Or partially stuck. It seems like compression's there though. Okay. Each time we spin it over, it's getting that little fraction better. Another quick go. Make sure the power point's turned on. Not showing any signs of life on that light bulb. Alright, what do you say we just put some petrol in it and send it all the way? Nope. But with the gunge, it's been everywhere. What's the bet this thing's been underwater or something? And the carburetor looks just like the outside. Give us some ether. Make sure it's choke. That was choke. Oh, I'll give it all of it. Oh, I wanted to. Again. Ooh. Come on. This starter's in a pretty ratchet spot. Alright, that'll do for today. We've got no power coming out, obviously. Oh, except that power point was turned off. But we'll worry about that tomorrow. So next morning, and so at this stage we've got an engine that runs. It's got a leak out of the sediment bowl, it needs the ignition coil, I really like some paint on it, and we've got no power output. So before we splash money on parts, I want to get some power output happening. I'm going to attempt to re-flash it as seen in some videos, which involves connecting a drill to the output, putting some gloves on, holding the drill, like the trigger in on the drill, and spinning the drill just to give it a bit of voltage there to excite off and start generating power. So I'll get you guys set up on the stand and we'll try and start this thing up again and see if we can do that. Well, that was a waste of time because it started making power. Alright, so I'm quite happy with the way it's running at the moment. Obviously it's quite smoky under load, but it probably hasn't been used in a very long time. I was just there cycling power on and off to it, and that's a 2,300 watt load we're putting on it, so quite a hefty load, and cycling the load on and off, on and off. I'm just hoping it'll help free up any stuck rings if there is any, being the cast iron bore and all. But yeah, very good so far. We'll just stick with it. So now I know that the power output's working and I didn't even have to intervene with it. I'm going to go out of town this morning, buy a few little bits and pieces for it, a little bit of paint for the tank and the cowling. I'm not going to go overboard and strip the whole motor and generator apart, but just tidy it up a bit, make it look nicer. We'll change the oil. I'll order that new ignition coil. I don't trust the one that's on it, even though it seems to be working alright. And a sediment bowl gasket, and maybe even a couple of the rubbers for the fuel tap, because that's dripping a little bit as well. When you've got it wide open, it's alright, it's just as you're opening it, it leaks, so just got to fix it up. Anyhow, we'll come back. So, quick trip to Super Cheap Auto has netted us this green paint here, which is pretty close to the original Briggs and Stratton green that they used in this sort of era. Oh, pardon me. So I'm going to quickly whip off this fuel tank, cowling, his plate here, the mesh, and I've also found a rewind starter that will fit this engine. Whip them all off, then we'll give them a bit of a sand or wire brush, try and mask off this sticker, and give them a coat of paint. Alright, so we've got some bits and pieces to clean up. Tank, sort of air filter tube, the run stop switch, cowling, the new starter, that heat shield, the top heat shield, and the mesh, which is off to the side at the moment. And I also drained the oil, and I sort of wonder if it had ever had an oil change in its life. Anyhow, it has now. So I'll get to cleaning these pieces up and we'll come back when I'm painting them. Alright, so everything's been wire brushed and wiped down with wax and grease remover. Not going to worry too much about a primer coat. I'm just spraying a enamel on there to give it some colour. And the original ones never had, original paint never had like a primer coat. So anyhow, nice and smooth. I've masked off the stickers as best I can. Let's get some paint. So, I must correct myself, using acrylic paint. Didn't even read the label. That's alright. We'll chuck a clear coat on afterwards and this is going to look pretty good. So, do a few coats. Main engine cover's the one that'll cop the most beating, so lay it on thick. Don't want to cause it to run though. Not that it really matters, no one will pay attention, so when it comes to selling it, they just want to say running machine. what I'm doing here is just allowing a couple of minutes of flash off on the first coat. I'm just thickening up the first coat, so I'll still do a second coat. If I can get a nice thick first coat on, it saves substantial extra coats later on. Oh, I'm loving the gloss that this is getting. Now, we'll do the petrol tank separately and the little stop switch. I'm running out of daylight, so I just wanted to get some stuff done. So while I'm waiting for paint to dry tomorrow, I can have some bits and pieces to put back together and put back on. Alright, time for some reassembly. I still haven't painted the tank yet. That will happen, what's today, Friday? Maybe Sunday. I've got another auction to go to tomorrow. We might shoot the auction mid this video, just for something different. Anyhow, we'll start off with this starter mesh. Four 1/4" bolts. We'll put this little plastic reel in there. That's not really necessary anymore, but it's always handy to have it there as a backup, I suppose. Now, I did pull this starter clutch apart off camera, clean it, and I lubed it with a couple of drops of automatic transmission fluid, so it doesn't grab anymore. Now I'm just getting all the bolts started. I haven't cranked any of them down yet, and you don't need them really that tight. So they've got a little shoulder on them. All the shoulders are sat into that bit of plastic there, so now, if I had a bit of forethought, I may have painted the heads of the head bolts that are going to go back in there, but anyway. Right. Head shield. Wow, not the new paint. Not matter. Matilda, what's the problem? So, I haven't done the stop switch yet, which mounted there, so we'll leave that bolt out for now. Yeah, they just came home. And that's where the tank mounts, so we'll leave it off for now. That's alright, just barge through. Got new ignition coil on order as well. Hopefully I got the right one. But for the meantime, that one seems to be working, so. Alright. What's next? This one. Came up looking pretty good. I didn't wipe all the oil off this, hang on. Right, good enough. There for a minute. There's another bolt that goes in the bottom there. We'll pull this rag out. Now the trick is going to be, I might need to just pause for a moment to get this rubber hose, which is quite hardened, back into this hole on the inlet tube. It might go, it might not. Alright, I'll stop and think about it. I might try applying some heat to this rubber just to get it pliable and get it back in there, because that was actually popped out when I pulled it apart. Right, problem sorted. This other bracket that supports this intake tube. Of course it doesn't. Right. Bolts back onto the base of the carburetor. Oh, there's the bolt. Car at the front. Okay, moving forward to the starter. So pretty simple. The mounting bolts are already here. Pre-lubed the starter spring, just sprayed some CRC through this little hole here, so it pulls and retracts fairly well. I'll put it facing that way so it's pulling away from the carburetor. this nice and snug. Now to fit it to the engine. Alrighty. Our ignition kill wire, we'll just tuck him out of the way up here. Might turn the flywheel so the magnets aren't trying to suck their bloody case into it. Reinsert our disused stop switch just to fill up the hole. Forgot about him. Which way around does it go? That way around. Right. That looks awesome. Some bolts. So we're actually missing one. So luckily I've wrecked a few mowers over the years. I like these ones. Oh, the same length. They just looked a little bit shorter. I thought I'll put them in the bottom where it's a bit harder to get into, but that's alright. Nope, wrong size. It's already on the ratchet. Don't want to do them all the way up yet. I'm just winding them most of the way down. Still want to be able to move the cowling just slightly. To get these bottom bolts in. Where is it? Oh, there it is. A prick of a spot. All right. We'll use this one on the other side. Random Briggs bolt rolls into the conversation, so I'll use him instead. The one that was missing, so I wonder if it's missing because either thread stripped or the old one snapped off inside. That looks much better with some fresh paint on the tin work. I'm going to have to do something about this exhaust now. That just really drags the quality down. All this will clean up good. It's only just, you know, dust. So, I've also ordered an air filter. Get rid of that really dirty, disgusting one. But they'll turn up after this video is uploaded, so unfortunately. So, moving forward, we might paint this fuel tank up. So I'm just cleaning up this stop run switch. Hoping to get them painted today. And it started raining. I'm not complaining about the rain, we need it, so anyway. Might have to paint them inside the carport here, or I'll wait till later. Anyway, this has come up quite nice. Can't really get right into it, but for the most part it works. Stop, run. Wish it didn't snap like that. I wish it was just, yeah. I can't see what's making it grab, so I think it's a little bit twisted in the middle there. Not a big deal. Anyhow. Right, so move on and clean up this fuel tank and its straps. I'm not going to paint the bottom of the tank. Can't see it when it's in its operating position, so there's no drama. However, and also I don't think I've got enough paint to do the whole lot like that. And then it saves me taking that fuel bowl and tap off the bottom of the tank as well, which you don't want to unnecessarily damage threads. Alright, so I'll go and get those and we'll start cleaning them up. Alright. A little bit of something still on the tank, got a few fish eyes. Not to worry. Nope, it's that side of it. Straps. Some reassembly. Where do we start? Alright, we might start with this kill switch. wire strippers. I haven't even grabbed them. Alright, we'll leave that for 5 minutes. No big deal. We'll go to this fuel tank bracket. Now, I don't know if I necessarily have to, do I have to fit the tank to the bracket and then, yeah, that'll work better. So, now, question is, where did it actually sit? I could go back through all that footage and work out where the tank strap's sat, I suppose. Oh, hang on, I can see footprint marks on the bottom of the tank where it's sat. Alright. Righto. Of course, the nut just wants to spin. Alright, we'll put the other one on. We're even in shot, who knows? Hello, dog. Oh, we scratched down your paint somewhere. Oh well. It looked nice for a little while. Alright. Our fuel tap must be on, maybe. One. And of course, that's got a different size nut on it. When people work on things, especially on a rural sort of site, they just do what they got to do to get things running, and sometimes it's not quite correct. Righto. We'll take these two nuts out. I did work out what that little spacer is on the bottom of that bolt. There we go. Alright. What are we, 7/16 for these bolts? Or ½ inch? ½ inch? Wow, okay. Alrighty. Bit of a bugger of a spot. Right, wind him in. Realistically, this thing's looking great. Unfortunately, still waiting for the ignition coil to turn up. I've been working on this video for about a week. Anyhow, and our air filter hasn't turned up, so that's just going to be a couple minor service items that we'll have to deal with when they get here. Ugh. Okay. Right, so I've just got to get a pair of pliers, put that hose clamp back on, and my wire strippers to clean up that kill wire, and we can finish assembly. This fuel hose isn't great either, so I might buy some tomorrow after I finish work. Hitch that was just bolted to the head, so I improvised a little bit and I found a Honda one. So provided we've got it earthed properly, that should work nicely. So I've got some engine oil to throw in. I've put in some molybdenum additive. It's supposed to be like a anti-friction enhancer. We'll see how it goes. I just got it in a pallet lot at a farm clearing auction while I was making this video actually. So I've put a little bit in the bottle of oil, then mixed it in with SAE 30, which it requires. Other than that, we'll throw some fuel in and see how it goes. I've got the right size funnel here. Not really. It actually just looks like really used engine oil, this stuff, but time will tell. So, from what I've heard and watched on YouTube, hello Emma, molybdenum, however you say it, was originally developed during war times as an oil additive for planes. So if the planes ran out of oil, there was a coating on the engine parts and it would get them out of trouble for a little while. Considering this engine's, you know, a little bit smoky, and it could just be from lack of use, could be because it was laying the wrong way, it could be just because it's worn out. So I thought it can't hurt to have some of this stuff in here, just to see how it handles it. It was 25%, so the base material itself is a powdery white metal, sorry. Yeah, we're very full. Cool. All right, let's get set up a little bit further away and we'll put some fuel in. All right. So we still might have a couple of fuel leaks. So I've ordered a washer kit for the tap and sediment bowl. So I won't put very much fuel in there. That's enough to cover the bottom of the tank. Basically all that's left to do on this now is basic maintenance items, which I've done quite a few throughout this video, and just at times appears like I'm not achieving much, but anyway. So, who done that fuel tap up so tight? Probably me. Now this fuel bowl stopped leaking at one point, but the chances are it'll leak again now. We'll just wait and see. Well, if it's going to leak, it's only going to be a weep, which I can live with. I'll give that some time for the fuel to run down. Even the tap's not leaking as bad as it was, because it was a constant like drip, 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 drip before, and now it's, I bet if I winded this tap all the way out, it will actually stop. Right. So we'll turn this switch top on, which I assume works. Bit of choke. Oh, almost. One more pull and we'll turn the choke off. See, after a little bit of use, the smoke did clear somewhat, not a great amount. That's where I spilt some filling it, so that's not drama. But gauging by the condition of the air intake and underneath the cowling, I think it's been pretty thoroughly dusted, which is a bit of a shame. At the moment, it's still a great running unit, and if you keep that oil topped up, it's probably going to run for quite a few years. So I'm going to actually put this one away for myself. We are planning on buying a property down the track, and this will just be handy for little jobs that I've got to do. So, and I know to look after a unit, where a lot of people will buy something like this and just flog it all day and then wonders why, you know, they get a day's use out of it and it shits the bed. So all in all, not bad for a $10 investment plus $13 in paint, a switch that I'd got for free at some stage, or very little, and a I think the ignition coil was $29, and I can't remember how much the air filter was. It wasn't very much, but they haven't turned up yet. So we've got a lot of new projects on the way. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.